Not quite sure why all the hate on this movie. Hey there, hi there, ho there, Andrew here, reviewing the movie Hot Pursuit. This movie's main leads are Reese Witherspoon and Sofia Vergara. The director is Anne Fletcher. Hot Pursuit, which original title was Don't Mess with Texas, good change since most of it was filmed in Louisiana, is a movie about Officer Cooper, played by Reese Witherspoon, whose father was top cop in his day. She had a bad experience while out on the field and has totally disgraced her family name. Whenever somebody screws up, it's called a Cooper, and she has become a desk jockey in her precinct. Later in her career, an opportunity comes her way. Her captain wants her to aid in the pickup and transport of a drug lord and his wife. They're going into the witness protection program. Legally, they need a female on the escort team due to the fact that the wife, Mrs. Riva, played by Sofia Vergara, should have a female escort. Just before the pickup, there is a major shootout that happens, and Officer Cooper runs with Mrs. Riva to keep her safe from the criminals that want to kill her. Now, I seen this movie months ago, and I wrote my review months ago. I just never sat down and recorded it. But before I recorded, I wanted to see what other people thought. I was amazed of the hate on this movie. I mean hate on this movie, and I'm not quite sure why either. Overall, I thought the movie was okay. Now, I didn't expect to see an epic tale on the screen. I wasn't expecting to see a franchise that's going to spawn sequels. I was expecting to see the typical buddy/cop/road trip movie, and that is exactly what this thing is. If you've seen the movie 48 Hours that was made in 1982 with Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte, or Midnight Run in 88 with Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin, even Bulletproof in 96 with Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler, then you know what to expect in this movie. Just throw a little bit of 1991's Thelma and Louise in there to spice up the empowering women and the don't underestimate women vibe. I guess you can say that I know what type of movie I'm going to see before I see it, so I tend not to be disappointed. I thought Sofia Vergara was funny in this movie. Yes, she plays a stock character here. It is the elitist drug lord wife that thinks that she's better than everybody else. And she pulls off that character. I saw some people complain about Sofia Vergara's voice. Are you kidding me? That's like saying you're not going to watch Disney cartoons because you don't like Donald Duck's voice. It's a package deal. Nobody complained about her voice in the Smurfs, Three Stooges, or Machete Kills. Even the TV show Modern Family. And let me just say, I use those titles as an example of something. It is proof that Sofia Vergara does not take herself seriously. All of her roles are in just goofy movies. Heck, she put herself up in a skit in the Academy Awards in 2014. Just to point out that people only look at her body. That takes a lot of guts to do something like that. To me, she is a comedic actress. And yeah, her voice might be like the Latino Fran Drescher. But so what? There's no shock there. Reese Witherspoon has had some experience with the police, and I don't think it was to research her role. Thanks, TMZ. However, she is an accomplished actor and an Oscar winner. Her character is a stock character as well. She's uptight, by the book, black and white, no shades of gray police officer. We've seen that plenty of times. I've seen and read other reviews where they say that she's supposed to be a tough as nails top cop. You never get that in the movie. I don't know what movie they were watching. Witherspoon and Vergara's characters are perfect foils for each other in a buddy movie. Witherspoon definitely doesn't take herself seriously in this movie because she's the butt of many jokes. Many times it points out that she's inept at her job or she looks like a little boy. Personally, I love how she infiltrates a party as a young boy and she has to get patted down in security and the guy checks her under her arms and her chest for a weapon and they say, "Nothing here." Her face is great. And that's another thing, the repeated gags. Every time that Cooper and Riva's physical descriptions are mentioned on the television, Cooper's estimated height gets progressively lower and Riva's age gets progressively higher. In those scenes, you are seeing the inner securities of the main characters being displayed. It isn't lazy writing. In comedy, it's called a callback. And speaking of comedy, there's a couple stand-up comedians that do a pretty good scene. Mike Birbiglia and Jim Gaffigan. Yeah, this movie has its faults. There are some editing issues. Things like the continuity of hair being messy in one scene and then neat in the other. Also, the police codes that they use are gibberish. That doesn't really upset me though. Again, because the movie doesn't take itself seriously. If you tell me through a trailer or in the first act of a movie that the movie's going to be gritty and intense, I'm going to take it serious. If you tell me that a movie's going to be whimsical, I know that logic is going to be thrown out the window. Now, people's tastes have changed over the years. No one complained back in the day when Indiana Jones jumped out of a plane with a raft and lived. However, years later when he survived an atomic bomb through a refrigerator, people went nuts. Though I will say that is a giant leap between the two. To me, the direction and cinematography was good. The storytelling was decent. It wasn't anything new, but decent. Yeah, sure, the movie is not a constant laugh fest, But the pacing of the movie is strong. There are really no slow and drawn-out spots in the movie, though I will say in the third act the tone changes. Now, Reese Witherspoon and Sofia Vergara make a good comedic duo. Their banter is equally as good as any of the famous comedic pairings that I've mentioned in the previous buddy cop movies. I will say this movie is a rental. So if you want to sit down and you want to watch a current buddy movie with female leads, then yeah, give it a shot. If you've seen this movie, tell me, what do you think? And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.
Are you kidding me?
No, I told you.
I'm an American citizen.
I told you to get in that car and stay in there, didn't I?
This is beyond.
I told
This
you.
is beyond.